Ultimate Doom Collector's Edition. Oh yeah, from Limited Run Games Doom. All in one. Ultra Review 9000. Yeah! Bam! 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 So, I would advise you to stick around for this video because this video here is unlike any other video on YouTube. In fact, this video will have a super ultra teardown on Doom from Limited Run Games. We're tearing everything down. So, in this video, we're going to do full review on both Standard Edition and Collector's Edition of Doom. And we're going to show the controller, everything. We're going to be doing the teardown as everything that you want to see when it comes to this. We're releasing secrets, tips, and more all throughout the video, along with even a blacklight testing to see if there are any secret codes hidden inside anything here. Oh yeah, that's right. And with today's video, we're going to be showing the inside of each one of these cartridges to see if they look like they should. And we're going to be going deep dives on this controller and what's inside. Nobody's done this video online. No one. So, as always, I like to do deep dives into these things. And with this video here, we're going deep. So, first off, thanks for stopping by the channel. Subscribe or like, but this video is most excellent and awesome. So, whenever you get your Doom from Limited Run Games, as you know, the shipping could take a little more time than normal. This is very obvious whenever you have a lot of orders. So, if you get this in the mail, you're going to see that it's going to come in just a standard box with a lot of fluff on the inside, okay? That's how it usually comes these days. They don't do custom boxes like you see back here that says Forever Physical. Okay, these boxes back here, they're no longer doing that because it just costs more for boxes. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't either because, yeah, it's cool to have that box, but most people just end up throwing them away. And even if you buy one of these off of eBay, the chances of getting an original box like that, that's even more rare, okay? So, because most people are gonna throw those away and not keep them. So, today, on the deep dives, we are comparing all of these games. So first, let's start off with the boxes, okay? We're gonna do the boxes here. And then we're gonna do some deep dives into everything. Like I said, we're taking apart the games. We're showing you everything you need to know with some secrets at the end. So, this right here is your Standard Edition box. So if you get the standard one, the game is going to look like this on the inside, as you can see. And we're going to show you some secrets here real soon. So this right here is the Collector's Edition box. And the Collector's Edition has a little bit of a raised surface on like the body and the characters, as you can see, hitting the light. That's why I have the lights shining the way that I do. So you can see that it's got a raised surface for Doom and for other stuff. So there is no other markings on the Collector's Edition box other than the fact that it's a little bit of a foil and it'll have more of a shine to some of the stuff and a raised surface on the box, as opposed to the Standard Edition, which has no raised at all and no foil. Now, the foil on the Collector's Edition is not on the back. Unlike predecessors in the past, like the Doom that's back there for the 64, that Doom had foil front and back and was probably more of an expensive box to make. So as you can see on the sides here, the box relatively is the same, no raised surface, no foil. So that's the same as far as print, okay? And as you can see, the holes are in like the same location basically on the box for their plasticking. The pictures are exactly the same on the backs of the box, the wording and everything. Now, the question might be that the serial code number on the back is different slightly by the number. So that says 380 and this one says 379. They were, that's got to be the difference there. That 79 and 80 are the last numbers on their scan code. That would be my only thing. And then the other thing here to know if it's collector's edition is it says CE collector's edition. And this one here just says Doom, okay? So that's how you can kind of tell if you got a collector's edition or not, okay? So always ask to look at the back to see if it says CE and see if the code, the product code, is an 80, okay? So like I said, I like to do one continuous shot whenever it comes to this sort of thing. So, since the boxes are so much the same, as you can see, the game is quite different from the actual original box. This one says FX, and the actual bottom of this thing, which of course I'm gonna drop, you can see that the bottoms are quite different. You can see the way they made the picture and everything. As we go around, we're checking out the full box and the complication of everything that they have done. So the Doom is different, the original Doom versus their Doom. They are not being made by Williams, which was a pinball company, you know, Bethesda, and then you've got a picture on the original. So as you can see, the original versus theirs is quite different. Theirs is like a full screenshot versus this cut screenshot, and there you have it. And so the back sides are quite different. As you can see, there is a product code difference there. I don't know if that's 1995 in the barcode or not. As you can see, the pictures are different. These pictures are brighter versus these darker pictures right there from Limited Run Games. Now, of course, you know, this states more about the FX chip and all that stuff, and that is a complete major difference there. So this video may be a little bit long, as you might know, but we're going to be releasing some secrets. So let's go ahead and get one secret out of the way. So whenever it comes to opening boxes, as you can see, there is no pressure point or crease. Okay? Now, whenever I grab this box here, you'll see that there is a crease from opening it like that. This is a collector's edition box, and yeah, I tore it up. So you see that crease that's made right there? This is a little secret and a tidbit for the rest of you out there. I was so eager to open this thing that I opened it just like that. Yeah, because I didn't want to run and grab the secret. So a lot of people don't know this, right? So if you're gonna go ahead and open your collector's edition or special edition, the best way is, of course, you want to cut the seam on the plastic here. But the secret to opening this without a problem is you want to get the actual butter knife, which is hard to hold right now. But you get the butter knife in there, right? You take it all the way to the back, and then you work it, and boom, you open it without any creases. For those game collectors out there, I just wanted to let you know that's why I intentionally bent the collector's edition. I have more of these I'm just not showing everything all in one picture. You can only fit so much on a screen. So, let's go deep dives. Just showed you a secret, okay? Butter knife all of your stuff. That works for all products, just so you know. Yeah, butter knife, back in the day, huh? Imagine that. So, there's one secret. Now, let's get into some deeper dives here. Everybody is receiving or have received their edition of Doom. Okay? And today is no different. We're going to be showing you the differences here. Now, of course, there is a Doom game in here. This is the original, and the original comes like this. They didn't have cartridge covers on the original, so, and then of course you got all of your papers and stuff in there, okay? So that is kind of a thing. So let's kind of do some comparisons real quick. Obviously, in my previous video, I showed this Doom here. And as you can see, there is pretty much the same kind of stuff, but the chips are different. Obviously, this is the FX chip, and anything made by Nintendo that has the FX chip has these extra chips on the sides here. Now, this one here does not. And I'm going to be going into some stuff later on in the video that's going to make you think twice before you even using some of these things. So, here is what I want to show you, what kind of makes me wonder. It comes in this plastic wrapper here, as you can see. And the thing about the standard edition versus the collector's edition, well, they're exactly the same except for the stickers. And as you can see, the paint job, the cartridge is the same exact color. So this kind of like gunmetal blue, almost maybe, or a light blue, I don't know, is the same color of this, and it looks like they just put a paint. They just painted it. They painted the red on there, okay? So that's the only difference in the stickers, okay? So whenever you look at this, these are all the same. Obviously, Nintendo cartridges have a different size Nintendo stamp. So I guess they couldn't get rights from Nintendo to use Nintendo's word there. Theirs is much more fatter and thinner, or bigger, I mean, and this one's more thinner as opposed to that one, as you can see for the Nintendo part. So it is what it is. And with these games, as you can see, this is a metal sticker here, and it kind of overlaps, and yours will have probably creases here that are actually cut into. So let's kind of get in there and see that. You see that crease right there? And it kind of like folds in and rips. It's kind of ripped on the ends in order, I guess, to get it to stick. So it's like that on both sides. This one, not as bad, but you can see it there. Now that right there, whatever that is not from me. That's from their production, whatever that is on the sticker there. So, like I said, it doesn't matter if I take these apart or not, because I have so many of them, right? So, let's get into some more deep dives on this. So, we went over the boxes, the differences in boxes. Now, let's kind of cover the controllers. So, this is the controller, their controller that says it rumbles. And we're going to be talking something about this rumble here at the very end of the video or sooner. So, this is what it's going to come and look like. It says Hell's Nightmare is what it's called. And it says with dual rumble. So that means there's two vibrating things on each side. And here is the part number. And so it says controller, Doom, Super NES. And that's what that means. Controller, Doom, Super NES, okay? So, that's your product number. And on the back here, it just says plug in and strike fear into your foe who thinks they can keep up with you. This armor-clad controller plugs right into your Super NES to deliver the tight button controls you remember from your childhood. Why has it got to be childhood, you know? So, Never before felt on the Super NES. Well, there's a reason for that. We're going to cover that soon. So the side of it actually has the side of the actual controller, and this one is staying sealed. So obviously, we're not going to show you, but whenever you open the box, there's really nothing inside, as you can see. But what it comes with is this here. You'll get your twisty tie, obviously, but you'll also get a blown mold plastic holder, I guess, for whatever reason. But what really made me wonder about this was this right here, this warning. And if I can hold this steady, because it's not easy to hold steady. It says, warning and disclaimer, this controller consumes more power than the standard Super NES controller. Use only original Super NES power supply. Using a low quality or incompatible power supply may cause performance issues, damage to your console or controller. So they're already saying, don't use this. Well, why would you make something that might have, well, they're basically trying to get out of any kind of lawsuits or returns or whatever by putting this in here. But, you know, you got to cover your butts, right? There's been claims. So this controller has not been tested with games other than the one for which it was originally designed for. This controller is designed for use with original Super NES hardware only. Compatibility is not guaranteed with third-party or clone consoles. So, that is very true. We're going to go over that in a minute, though. You're going to love it. We are opening these games here today. If I can do it in one live continuous shot, I would prefer that instead of cuts. Cuts make it great. You know, it kind of makes it look like magic, movie magic. But I'm an old school fan of Chris Angel. And Chris Angel likes to do one continuous shot, even though we know that those shots were edited for whatever reason, right? So, you know, camera trickery or not. So today, on this adventure, we have a lot to go over. So, before we get into the controller comparison, let's take a look at what you might want to look up or see for this situation. So the original Nintendo Power that covered Doom was this one right here. If I am correct, this is a September issue, volume 76. This Nintendo Power covers, you know, this one, I think it was 95, but I could be wrong, I don't know. But, you know, so this is the one with Killer Instinct is the one that covers it. Now, as we flip around, first will be a lot of Killer Instinct. And then, somewhere in here, as we go through, I'm trying to find it. We bookmark these things. So this is the Doom page. And there's not many Doom pages in here. It does not cover all of Doom. So it says, prepare to meet your Doom. And so this is what it's going to look like on the inside. Okay, and it kind of tells you about Doom, and then we go even further. Now, I like how maps are, because you get some little maps thrown in there. They tried to collage it all in there with screenshots. And as you can see, the original Nintendo Power that covers this only covers so much of this. So, as you can see, it's not too bad at all. I'm just kind of going over just to show you there's not many pages, and then boom, it's gone. That's it. Not a whole lot in there for Doom. I don't know if they're trying to keep blood and violence out of their magazines or what. So, when it comes to Doom, this collector's edition Doom and the standard edition, it comes with an additional feature, an additional set of maps that were not included on this one here. So it has Thy Flesh Consumed. Thy Flesh Consumed is only going to be found on limited run games set of Super NES Dooms, okay? So that is something, okay? So this this Super NES guide here for Doom that is original and old as can be. I have 2 of these, and I am very surprised that this is in such good shape. But as you can see, this one is pretty mint, and this one is pretty much a color book. The maps are still black and white, stolen from the original Doom book, it looks like, pretty much, and then it has points of interest. Now, this one here, being kind of colored, is pretty neat, but it does not cover Thy Flesh Consumed. It's for the Super NES version and would help you quite a bit, but I don't know if all the levels are necessarily in here. Looks like quite a bit of them are, so that is something to remember. So this is what it used to cost, $10, okay? And yeah, so back in the day, game books were awesome, and this is how you played your games. This day and age, on the internet, it just sucks. You're just surrounded by horrible clickbait stuff that's designed to slow or put malware on your stuff. It's no fun to look up any kind of guide online, but yet people are still doing it. Like, how are you going to beat Resident Evil without a guide? Anyways, so if you're going deeper dives, you might be looking for this book right here. This is the Ultimate Doom one that includes Thy Flesh Consumed. This one here was an added book because originally Thy Flesh Consumed was an add-on that came with like Ultimate Doom only. So this one here says Babbage's price. Remember Babbage's? So this one here has a chrome, kind of golden look on the borderlines there, and it covers the Ultimate Doom. Now this one here, the original Doom book looks just like this, but without this here and stuff. And no, I'm not digging everything out just to show you today, but we have dig a lot out as it is. So this one here is kind of cool though. It does show decent pictures, and then you've got a lot of blood, like kind of splattered. It's got good teardowns on maps, which is really good. So if you're kind of looking for a thorough teardown on the game, this is like your ultimate guide right here. And I used to use my original one. It looks just like this, but it has a little bit of a crease because I actually used it to beat this game. Now, of course, because of the Mandela effect, the Mandela effect affects everything. This game, I remember saving on. I was able to save, and that's how I beat it. So, in this reality we're in, there is no save for this. Keep that in mind. So, whenever you get your Doom game, you're going to get a poster, and they're both the exact same. So, the poster comes with the standard edition and the collector's edition. So let's take a look at this poster and see what is it and what does it look like. So this thing, and voila, it is an official Doom looking Doom. Now I wouldn't even bother with any kind of poster that's sent to me with creases in it. Oh my. So this is one problem I have when it comes to limited run or other people that make stuff for games. A poster that has creases, look at this, you can see the white. I mean, it's permanently damaged. It's not even worth anything. So that's one problem. One thing that I have suggested to limited run and many other people out there is that if you're gonna make a poster, put it in a tube, in one of those cardboard tubes. And why not make this poster something special? Instead of folding it and damaging it like they did, make it foil, make it hologram, make hologram posters, make foil posters. I'm just getting that point out there. It's for them, not you. Anyways, as you can tell, the poster is not up to my par because it's been folded. Now, if you're a collector, and boom, that's it. Okay, so the game book. as we all know, the game book here is exactly the same. So here is the one for the collector's edition. As you know, they're exactly the same. Collector's edition, standard edition. They're exactly the same on both sides, all together. So what we're gonna do is do a quick comparison just to see how similar are the pages. Hopefully I don't get it mixed up in any way, shape, or form, but I shouldn't. So the major differences here is at the bottom. As you can see, it says Super Nintendo. This says Forever Physical. You got a Williams stamp with a mature rating. They've cut all of that nonsense out, and it kind of says something different. So as you can see, this says Doom with some sort of number at top. This one does not. And they've pretty much copied a lot of it, but color coding is different. These are red versus brown. Okay, so the original ones were kind of brown, you know, and so color coding is altered here. Now, the original is thinner, way thinner, and this one is thicker. You can see the difference there. So they've added some stuff to this. Theirs, it says Forever Physical. We're going to kind of go through this here, but theirs has some additional stuff, obviously. So they kind of got a teardown. They got this cheats menu code here, and it tells you how it works. Let's go ahead and get into that. Let me show you a video right now of putting in the codes, so that way you can see. Okay, so obviously you see how to put in codes. And so the story so far, and then, you know, it tells you, it shows faces, and you know, it shows mouse, like you would use the mouse. It kind of sticks together. It shows the keys. It shows different stuff and your weapons and armor and more stuff as we go through each one, and just kind of showing you. And then the monsters. Now it says dumb, tough, flies on fire, enough said. I always like to point that out. So this here has you know, it looks like some extra pages back here, some credits to people, and that's it. Now this one here is much thinner and simplified, as you can see, compared to the other. Now, of course, it just says getting started, and then story so far. So it looks like it's cutting out the mouse and the controller settings for this thing. It does have a controller there with a different screen here, as you can see. And then it goes into showing the guns and the weapons, and some of the pages may be altered or different. But we're not going to get into deep dives on their little booklet that they made. As you can see, this says presentation for Mortal Kombat 3 as one of the pages. And then that's it right there. There's some credits to whoever helped make that. So that is your difference there. The limited run has a couple extra pages, obviously, and it's probably thicker paper than the original Nintendo. Now, what we want to do is get into some deep dives here, and this is what you guys have been waiting for. So I try to make this video short, but what we're going to do is we're going to take apart both of the controllers, or both of the games and the controllers. But just before we do that, I have to remember we're still going to show some stuff here. So first things first, the controller that everybody wants to know about. How is the controller different? How is the controller different here? So we don't have the slanted stuff there. The directional pad does not have little arrows on it. These buttons are still a little bit concave, and those are bumps. And as you can see from the top of the controller, it's close, but not the same. This has a heck of a lot of texture on it versus this one here. And then the bottom, this one has more of a bubble, of a bump, you know, versus theirs. So I'm going to guess that this is the sides that have the rumble in it. And as you can see, there is no Super NES anything with the controller. And the pins are in kind of different locations in a way. Very similar but different. And this controller is a lot thicker. So that kind of gives you a teardown on the controller. Now, something that nobody actually has done, let's go ahead and show you this because I think this is kind of important. So, the original Nintendo one versus their limited run version. As you can see, it looks very much the same. But this one here says Nintendo. And as you can see, everything from the sides are kind of close to similar. And yeah. So their controller, as you might see, you know, their plastic is a little bit of a down step. So right here, this bridge right here is completely all the way across. And this bridge right here is a down step. Okay. This set of pins in here are all perfect. The limited run version are not perfect. The holes are all kind of like cheap plastic, kind of slotted. They're not perfectly round. They're kind of, I had to get like a little knife to kind of get some of the stuff out so that way it would fit, because there was little like pieces of plastic sticking out of these nodules. Okay, so the actual Nintendo version was made perfectly with a solid molding, and then this one here is kind of like a cheaper plastic without a solid pin fit molding. So this could cause connection issues depending upon what you would connect it into. Now, before we get to unscrewing these games, which is very important to me, we're going to open them up and compare them all. Original versus this versus that. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. That's how we do it around here. So, just before we get to that, and before we get to the blacklight part, we have to cover something. Yeah. Here comes the bad part, so close your ears if you work for limited run games. So, this controller here, well, we've had some issues. Now, this controller, according to them, they say only works on the Super Nintendo. So, my words to you, limited run games, is this is 2026. The Super Nintendo is 40 years ago, from 1990, okay? Super Nintendo came out in 1990 or 1991, okay? You're talking about like 30, 40-year-old game system, and you expect those game systems to work? Actually, almost 80%, if not more, of those game systems have problems or don't work. So, just so you know. Okay, so with me getting that out of the way, why are you making controllers for something this old? Now, your controllers, if you have to charge more, then charge more, because people are going to pay it regardless. And go ahead and get the upgrade chip design inside of here so it can work with all systems out there. Now, you could have partnered with Hyperkin and Analog in some sort of name or fashion so that way it will work with their stuff. Okay? It's not that hard. You just make phone calls or text messages, emails, whatever, right? So, what I'm kind of getting into now is kind of like the pros and cons part. So like I said, this video could be kind of long. This here is a completely different chipset than your original Nintendo game. So this game here versus this game here. This is actually made to run on your Super Nintendo, when this game here is technically not made to run on your Super Nintendo. Yeah, I'm not lying here. So, you got to think about the differences here. There is all new 2025, 2026 chipsets in here versus something from 1990 or 1995 for an FX chip. Now, my question is would this even work with a Game Genie, which we will be doing a video on in the future? Probably not, because the coding is completely different and the game itself is completely different on the inside, so it may not even process properly. So would it work with a Game Genie? Probably not. And this won't work with a Game Genie either. And here's the reason why. So these chips, like I said, I'm releasing secrets, so stay tuned. We're not done. So these chips on the side do not go into the Game Genie, and these are part of the FX chip expansion. This chip on the inside is what the Game Genie goes into, and the Game Genie only fits the main chip here. Okay, so keep this in mind. You can't use this with a Game Genie. That's right. A lot of people think, oh man, this, you know, it's funny. I go online to look for codes, and it says you could maybe use the Game Genie. You could use the Game Genie. This is like on Wiki or something stupid like that. Or maybe Doom Facts or Doom Fan Facts, or I don't know. You know, everybody out there has got something, but they say, oh, you could use the Game Genie. No, actually, the Game Genie does not work with this. I've tried it. So sorry. That's because of the FX chip on the sides. Okay, so the Game Genie only works on this center part. Sorry for busting the bubbles. So, here we go with some more stuff. You got to remember that the inside of this has different resistance values, different amperage, different voltage, and maybe sending feedback voltage for the rumble feature for that controller. And depending upon the hertz or the frequency, depending upon ohms, that could short out your Super Nintendo. So this is made for the new game systems, the Super NT, this here, or this here in the background. Using that on a actual Super Nintendo is a bad idea. And I'm just going to tell you, I only say this because I work with electronics and I am actually an electronic master here. So we're going to kind of go over this here real soon. So this controller here, the fact that they say something strange, and they do say it. Here we go. I'm going to start doing your deep dives here. So this says controller designed for use with the original, okay? Well, most of those consoles, if you overload any of them, they will short out. That's how old they are. Not guaranteed with third-party or clone consoles. So, remember, this comes with all of these. And I actually got a problem with this. Here I go. So this, right here, okay, why would you want to play any of this on 1920s anything, okay? Take a look at this. Here's the thing. First off, you're using connectors that are old. So you're using audio video connectors and UHF. UHF connectors, people. Holy moly. I tried this thing on every frickin' TV I got. Yeah, and I tried it with different connectors, different power sources, different everything. It does not rumble. So, I am not the only one that has do not rumble. So I've tried it on that system over there. I've tried it on this system here. I've tried it on the Super NT. Yeah, that's right. Buy a Super NT they don't make anymore. Yeah, let's buy that. It's going for over $1,000 on eBay. Okay, and I've tried it on the Super NES. No rumble at all. And I've got video to prove it. I actually made several videos. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of my videos that I made. It's only 3 minutes long. I made like 5 videos of me testing out this controller on different systems. 5. I'm only showing 1 because this would make the video extremely long, okay? So you're only gonna get 1 in this one. So the testing showed on one of them, as you can see here. It works out here. So as you can see, the controller does look pretty dark, and even with lights, I didn't want to over brighten the picture in this situation, but it does feel good and all the buttons seem to work pretty good. I think one of the buttons felt like it was reversed, but I'm not too sure. Let's go ahead and we have the rumble on, and sound and everything's on, and we're going to go ahead and restart. And let's test out and see how this thing works. So that's the shoot button. Activate button is the far button. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to let you know when it vibrates. We're going to find out if this thing actually vibrates when it's supposed to. Like, I just got hit by a blast and no vibration. So there was no vibration at all. So that's a little strange. So whenever I shoot the gun, no vibration, you know. I'd hate to open up everything, but let's find out here. So I push that button. And we're going to go ahead and shoot the hell out of this guy. And so I didn't get no vibration yet on the controller. So, if you can, you use an object to kind of stick him behind an object here. Now, they said that this controller was to be used for the original Nintendo only. Does that mean you can't use it with the analog, the Super NT? You can't use it with alternate systems? I don't know. So here is these, see, I get stuck on walls, but as you can see, there's some fire pit here you can walk into, and there is 0 vibration. And no matter what I do, there's no vibration, so I'm not too sure. So we're going to try this with several different systems here and see. It says that this can mess up stuff, or who knows if it'll even work. Does it require a certain amount of amperage to something for the vibration to actually work? I have no idea. So I didn't get no vibration in the blood pool or being hit or shooting the gun. I'm not understanding. So let's go ahead and restart the level, and what we'll do is we're pausing the game and we're going to turn rumble off, and then I'm going to see here. Let's try to see how this works. I don't understand why we would have this as the case. And then what if I go ahead and pause the game and then turn the rumble back on, and then it's hitting me and I'm not getting nothing, and nothing, no vibration. So is there a reason why we're not getting any vibration with the controller at all? There's nothing, no vibration. So they said it's a vibrating controller. We'll find out, huh? Okay, so we're trying the Collector's Edition game with the controller to see if we get any vibration. So let's go ahead and start hitting the buttons here. And I'm going to put it on pretty much easy. We're going to try the first level this time to see if maybe the first level makes a difference instead of trying any of the other levels. Now, as you can see, we have rumble on. So I didn't feel anything there when I picked up an item. Oh, man. Thought putting it on an easier setting would have been better. But that may not be the case. I'm stuck on a wall. Let's go find out here. So the other game had no vibration. I'm trying to decide, is this caused by the game? Okay, so I just got shot at. Firing the gun. No vibration. He shot me. I didn't feel anything. Let's go into the waste pit over here and see if... I'm being shot by the demon here. In the waste pit, no vibration at all. So, not good. So, I don't know, but you tell me what's going on here. So, let's try opening another door here. No vibration. Just got hit. Let's get blow up a barrel. And no vibration. So, no vibration with Collector's Edition or Standard Edition. And I've tried 2 consoles now. And we're going to try a few other ideas and see why we're not getting any vibration here. So, who knows, right? It's just a custom controller. They said it vibrates. We're going to take this thing apart in the main video and find out what's going on there. Okay, so as you can see, the video that I made there was one of like 4 or 5 videos at least, and I thought I was going to get somewhere with it, but once I started noticing that there was no rumble feature on any of the systems, that's when I started to freak out. I had sent messages to Limited Run. They're good people. I think they do a good job. Unfortunately, in this situation, all that matters to me is that I have the controller, and I'm very proud to have it. So thank you guys at Limited Run Games. You guys do a great job. It's not your fault if it don't work, okay? People can try to blame people for stuff, but that's not the case here. It's literally either a manufacturing fault, and it's out of their hands in that situation. So you guys got to keep an open mind here. But they do know something about something, or they're trying to steer away from something, which is a smart idea. But it's strange, whenever you were ordering and buying these things, they didn't have no disclaimer like this when you were buying or ordering it, because, well, they didn't want to, not make the deal they said they were going to do, So if you put this in there, it's just kind of like a little note to let you know. Now, why would you want to play this on a Super Nintendo? Why? You can't hook up HDMI. You don't have anything, as far as it goes, anything that's gonna, look good on your new TV. This is 2026, man. It's time to have some new stuff. So we're gonna be doing deep dives with this situation. Like I said, whenever you get the collector's edition, like in my previous video, you will get a card like this. And we're going to be releasing secrets now. Now it's time for Doom, full, unadulterated. We're going to be taking apart the controller. We're going to be taking apart these games. We're going to do blacklight test looking for codes, and we're going to have gameplay. Stick around. This is a deep-ass video, people. You can program your own games to this chip. You can install mods, hacks, or codes. All kinds of stuff. It's a Raspberry. Ho-ho! Yeah! So all you gotta do is get you a data link connector and plug into the USB-C. And then make sure you keep it on something plastic to prevent any kind of static electricity. I wear gloves. And when you're in there, you can see that there is a Raspberry Pi in there. A Raspberry. So, easy. We can just program these things and hook it up to the computer. Oh my god, I can't show you the computer, but secrets revealed next time. Okay, so here we are again showing you the insides of everything. Oh yeah! That's right. I'm doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. That's right. So, in order to take apart the actual controller, you would need one of these here. And this one here that I used is this size here. See if we can focus. It says 2.5 by 50 millimeter. Okay, cross. So I actually got it from China, my favorite company. I love you, China. Yo, yo, that's who made it. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Damn, that's badass. Anyways, I just had to do that. You guys knew that was coming. So, one cool thing about some of these things is they're magnetic. Okay, so the original screws that come with the actual cartridges are like a chrome screw, as you can see, and they have a different type of tip on them. They are, you know, they're basically, it's just standard metal, just cheap metal that will corrode over time or rust. Right now it's not going to, but I used this tool here that has an adapter that's specially fitted. As you can see, it's not, if I can get it to focus, right? So it's not your normal shape, it's like a flower shape. Okay, so it's not squared, it's like a flower shape. So let's see if we can focus there. See the actual screw head is more of a flower shape. That is the same for actually the original Nintendo ones. The original Nintendo ones, which we have right here, are the same as that. Except for the fact that they're more of a galvanized metal. Let's see if we can zoom in there. Nope. Here we go. It's auto zoom. So it's the same kind of screw. It's just more of it's a treated screw. It's more of a treated one. That's why there's the discoloration of a golden look to it. So that means the chances of it rusting are a lot less. Yeah, back in 1995, can you imagine that? So, anyways, let's first get to the meat and potatoes, like I like to say. So, here is the controller that everybody talks about. Okay, so this controller here, a lot of people wonder what's on the inside. This board right here is all hot wired like a hot potato, everybody. Completely different than the original, which I was going to take apart, but I'm not going to because it's mine. So, as you can see here, this is where some of their fundamental flaws lie. They have a capacitor here, it looks like, and then this is wired into the board for these gyros here, and this is your main line coming in. Okay, so I don't know how to hold this without dropping it. That's where I'm at with it. So, as you can see, it says 10-bit PS out clock vid. So they actually have some information on their actual card here. And as you can see, trying to get everything in one shot. So this is what the inside looks like, and they have these quick disconnects on here. So you can actually disconnect these wires here for repairs. But the problem is they're soldered to the gyros. Okay, so this is the motor, and then that's the gyro end, and then these are soldered to that. So even though it has a quick disconnect, that doesn't really matter. So there is your charge port right there. Is what that looks like, is some sort of charge port. However, I could be wrong. It could be something else. But it looks like a charge port, even though this has a cable. So I'm not too sure what that's all about. That could be a programming, how they programmed it. Maybe that's their programming slot for a USB-C connector to be in there. I find that really strange that that's right where the power inlays would come. straight from the controller itself. So, as you can see, the controller is, you know, it can fall apart all at once because it doesn't fucking work. It works, the controller works as far as using it, but it does not vibrate. So as you can see, the inside of this controller looks like this. So the controller they sent me, and I've seen online where some people were actually complaining, saying their controllers didn't work, or their controller doesn't work with other consoles. Their controller does not work with an adapter wire that's on Reddit. You'll see a Reddit post. I am not going to show you that Reddit post because I do not want to get yelled at by people, right? So as you can see here, this says 7/23 of 24. That's when the board was made. So in 25 is when they started sales. And as you can see right here, there's some sort of solder stuff that's on there that looks like it's wet, but it's not wet. Okay, so as you can see, there is your processor chip in the middle there. And over there is some little transistors. And so what makes this chipset worth having? This is what it looks like on the inside. Now, nobody on YouTube has done a video on this at all. Not one single person. This is obviously your product number right here. So AZRB Super NES 0324B. So that is their product number for the board. If you're ordering a board for it replacement wise, this is the date of the board when this was produced. And everything in here pretty much just kind of tells you they numbered every slot. So R7, R8. This is for testing. So all those number board slots right here with all those numbers, that's usually for testing resistance and testing, and those are also slots for replacement. So you would remove those little transistors out of there and replace them if one was bad. So for some reason mine does not vibrate, so I went ahead and took it apart. It doesn't vibrate. I tried it. I told you I tried it, and I'm not lying. I used it on this console here. I used it on the Super NES back there. I used it on the Super NT, and I used it on the 8-bit and a Hyperkin. So the Hyperkin ain't gonna matter, but I thought this was made by Hyperkin out of outsourcing. But I'm trying to see if Hyperkin, you know what? I would say it would have been better had Hyperkin made this for them. I don't think they partnered with Hyperkin on this one. I don't know if they lost rights to Hyperkin or some sort of agreement, or maybe Hyperkin, you know, they probably would have charged $60 for a controller or more. You could have charged $100 and we would have did it. Just make it to where it works with everything. It's not that hard, people. I fucking do this for a living, okay? So anyways, let's get into this. So here is your original Super NES Doom here. So just gonna kind of show you. The chip comes right out after unscrewing, and this is the side you want to see whenever you're looking. So Nintendo 1995. Tobiyusha, Japan. Nintendo. Now this is more of a chipset because this is an FX chip, everybody. This is their FX chip. So you don't see big fat capacitors or big fat transistors. This is still being used to this day. As you can see, some of these, all these processors here in here, this is how the original chip looks. Now right there is a big capacitor, but they didn't have room on the board for a battery for the save feature. Like I said, the Mandela effect, in my reality, I saved on this game. So, yeah, I'm not lying. I'm not stupid either. So, this is your collector's edition, and here is your standard edition, and as you can see, they look exactly the same. And this is what's important, people. I am tearing this stuff down so you guys don't have to. So, this is the chip here that I'm taking it out of the collector's edition. Yeah, Yeah, I took it out. Oh man, what is Greg gonna do? Oh man. So, FX3, more of what you crave. Bitmap Bureau. And as you can see, and I'm gonna go over this, at the very top right here, you see that? That's a USB-C for programming. They put this whole chipset together and then they programmed it. And that's what this is, along with that controller. So why can't you program it to run on other systems? Is there an update? You know what you could do is do what Analog does and put a little port at the top or somewhere where we can update them online. Oh my God, did I just come up with something? So as you can see here, the chipset is quite a bit of chipsets. And who are they using there? Wow. Expansion. And then it's a Raspberry Pi in there. Raspberry poop. So that's what you're gonna see, and it's exactly the same as the standard edition. And on the back, it's just a nice smooth board covered up with stuff. Nice. So this does look like the prototypes that were sent out to other YouTubers. And those other YouTubers have not made a single video on the Super NES thing. After they got their promotion thing, now I'm not going to say who these people are, but if you follow anything, you would know who I'm talking about. So a lot of guys got a promotional copy of this along with a vibrating controller. And those guys have still not made a video since. This stuff came to them in the mail and they didn't order it. No, because they're marketing. They're there for marketing. So they get sent to pre's, the demos and everything. They get promotions and it promotes their channel. It is not for anything other than promotion. Keep in mind. So this right here is a upgradable chipset. I'm wondering if I can plug in a USB-C to program to make this work with this controller. This controller, since it doesn't vibrate, really has no meaning. I'll put it back together, make sure all the connections are good. And I got a sealed one right here. So what does it matter? Who cares? It doesn't vibrate. It's just the same thing as this right here. Well, actually, you can see this chipset in here. You can see the stuff. And this actually comes with the port, the USB-C, accessible for power and programming at the top, which they could have did a wireless battery, everything. You could have charged a lot more money for this controller, people. And like I said, this controller, they're saying, could damage your Super Nintendo. That's 30, 40 years old. Well, then why even say it's only for the Super Nintendo? How many people are going to have that? Not too many. Of course I have stuff. So with this here, why would you want to plug this into a 30, 40-year-old Nintendo, Super Nintendo? Are you out of your mind? What kind of resistance would this do? What is going to happen if it shorts out a capacitor? Because that's what it's going to do. So, when I plugged it into my Super Nintendo now has spots and lines and stuff. And I didn't want to say it, but I kind of just let it out. So, anyways, but I will be fixing it. It's a capacitor. Most likely. For video. So anyways, this chip does run a little more higher performance, and I would say that you don't want to connect this really to your original Super Nintendo. Go ahead and play this on the Super NT or one of these other consoles that you can buy that are HD for your new TVs, because those systems like this here are really cheap. They go anywhere from 50 to 120 bucks online, and same with this one right here. They're cheaper, and that way if they do fail or break because of a voltage regulated thing or an amperage problem, then so be it. You can buy another one. And the Super NT Analog might be making more, okay? They might be making some special edition ones. I've been talking with Analog themselves, and we might be in the works for a brand new Super NT coming in the future. And I didn't want to say it, but I had to say it. Don't forget, everybody, that your cartridge cleaners still work, and those are good for cleaning your old boards. As you can see here, the difference between the chipsets are quite a bit of difference. So this one here should be able to work with the Game Genie. This one here does not. This is the original from 1995 or whatever. This one here will not work with the Game Genie. This one here should, but due to this updated technology and all this programming, it probably won't work with the Game Genie at all, and may cause some sort of short to the game or to the actual console that you're plugging the Game Genie into. So I would advise you probably not to use the Game Genie, period, end of it. Now, let's get to the blacklight testing. Exactly. Let's see if there's any hidden codes, messages on their pamphlets, or anything else other than that. Let's do it. Dun 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 dun. Blacklight testing. That's right, folks. What I love to do. Some of the parts of what you love to see with what I do. So, we're looking for game codes or any secrets. I'm not seeing anything on the chipset from them for this. So, let's go deep dives. Is there any secrets hidden inside the collector's edition? No. Is there any secrets on the back of the collector's edition? Not that I see in the blacklight at all. In fact, it's very dark. The very front of the collector's edition. Nothing. Nothing at all. The very front of the standard edition. Still no codes or any secrets hidden. Let's check out their chipsets here. Let's see this. Is there any kind of code hidden in there? No. Backside? No. Well, that's not good. That's not good for anything. Let's see here. No secrets. What are we gonna do? Well, let's check out their card. Their official card has no codes or no proof of authenticity in blacklight. Now, they could have did that to make it more authentic. But I'm not seeing anything on here, people. There's a little spot right there. That's it. Let's check the backside. Oh, nothing. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. So, right here, their game booklet. Last choice. We'll also check the actual poster. Is there any secret hidden codes? I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything. I'm actually looking. So you guys can always pause the video if you need to, but I'm not seeing any secrets. Usually secrets are in the back. Nothing on this page. Nothing. No secrets. I would see something that stands out in blacklight, and I'm not seeing it. Not seeing anything. We're going page by page real quick. Still not seeing anything. Still not. Jeez. Still not seeing nothing that stands out. So, that's not good. Let's talk about this poster over here. This poster. Is there any secrets on that? Any codes? You know, if I was an Easter egg person, I would win the day. But there are no codes. I'm actually looking at this thing quite thoroughly in the blacklight. And it doesn't even look that amazing. Backside, you would think, I actually see some strange kind of little dots everywhere, like a million dots, but that's just processing dots, and you can't even see them on the screen. But I see a million dots all over this backside here, using the blacklight. But that doesn't help me. I doubt that it's like Morse code or anything. So, let's see here. Is there anything else? The box. I'm not seeing any kind of special anything that stands out in a blacklight. I'm gonna have to call this a complete fudge for the system here. No black light, anything. Man, what a bummer, huh? So this is what the controller looks like in the black light. Nothing too amazing. It just kind of falls apart and nothing much to say. I will be putting it back together, but it is whatever. So, there we have it with the blacklight test. Let's get to some gameplay, guys. As you can see, gameplay time. Dun dun dun! Okay, so as a note, whenever you go to put a code in, if you have put a code in, as soon as you put the last digit in, it will tell you what it is right there on the screen. You see where it says credits on the screen? That's how you know you got the code. So testing out a whole bunch of numbers may take forever, but that's one way to confirm that it is a code. So it would take a lot of time to try to figure out what would be God mode, what would be infinite ammo, all this kind of stuff. I'm sure those would be in there. There may be even developer codes. So there is no other way to put codes in on this game other than the start screen. From the start screen at the very beginning, I know there was something where it says play till the second level and then bring up the code screen, but I don't see how you can do that, because whenever you're playing, it never brings up any code screen. The only way to access the screen is at the very beginning. So maybe there's more to it than I know, but we'll look into it.
games.